প্ৰিয় শ্ৰোতা, আজি আমাৰ ৰেডিঅ' ক্লাছৰুমত উপস্থিত আছে গোৱালপাৰা মহাবিদ্যালয়ৰ ইংৰাজী বিভাগৰ সহকাৰী অধ্যাপিকা মানসী দেৱী। বাইদেউ, আপোনাক আমাৰ ষ্টুডিঅ'লৈ বহুত বহুত স্বাগতম।
ধন্যবাদ। Hello everyone, I am Manasi Devi, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, Gwalpara College. The topic for today's talk is on Manjula Padmanabham's Lights Out, which is prescribed in second semester honors syllabus. Today I am going to talk on Manjula Padmanabham's play Lights Out by focusing on the trauma of gang rape and the apathy of people towards rape victims. The issue is topical and has relevance in contemporary India as the brutal incident of Delhi rape case is still fresh in our memory. Jyoti Singh's brutal gang rape and torture by her rapists who ripped out her intestines led to her death. The incident shocked the entire nation and left several unanswered questions. In Manjula Padmanabham's play Lights Out, the rape victim desperately cries out for help, but her cries are left unanswered as the middle-class characters present on stage put forward several questions to defer action against the perpetrators of the crime. I shall critically discuss the excuses put forward by the characters that range from branding the victim as a whore to even using the discourse of the nation to defer action to an indefinite future. It is this mindset of non-involvement in criminal cases, especially cases related to sexual violence on women, that has made violence against women so rampant in our country. The keywords in my topic are gang rape, apathy, and non-action. The text Body Blows, Women, Violence and Survival begin with an introductory essay by C.S. Lakshmi titled And Kannagi Plucked Out a Breast, wherein she introduces the theme of the text in a very interesting and thought-provoking manner. Fairy tales told to children contain stories of abducted women, slain demonesses, and children go off to sleep after listening to accounts of gender violence. C.S. Lakshmi reasons that such peaceful sleep was possible because, and here I quote, one had assimilated violence as a part of being a woman. Draupadi is humiliated in the Kaurava court. Sita enters the fire to prove her chastity, and Ahalya hardens into stone, awaiting deliverance at the touch of the foot of Rama. The child listens, thinking that this is what it is to be a woman. The attacks on her body seem an inevitable aspect of being female. Manjula Padmanabham's play Lights Out also focuses on body blows that have become an inevitable part of being a woman. The play Lights Out by Manjula Padmanabhan focuses on gang rape and indifference and intolerance of people to crimes like gang rape. Respected citizens of middle-class families choose to stay away from heinous crimes against women such as gang rape, as they do not want to be involved in a political case. The title of the play is very significant. Lights Out suggests darkness, and darkness may connote ignorance, indifference, fear, violence, lack of vision, and lack of hope. It is doubly significant as any theatre performance begins only when all lights in the auditorium are switched off, thereby creating a semblance of reality on stage. Through the play, Manjula Padmanabham wants to put lights on, that is, focus on this serious issue of rape. The play opens and we see Leela is deeply perturbed and shocked by the scene of violence that takes place every night in the opposite building where women are gang raped. Her husband is indifferent to the incident as it does not concern them directly. He does not want to involve himself in the matter, but Leela insists on calling the police as she is afraid of the incident. It is affecting her peace of mind. She feels afraid and vulnerable to violence while her husband shoves off the incident as minor little offense and therefore not worth any action. As the conversation between the so-called respectable and decent couple proceeds, we are told that Bhaskar had been watching the incident from the comfort of his home, perhaps even enjoying the spectacle of rape. Leela does not want to watch it. The sounds are enough to trouble her. She is worried of the dirty, ugly sounds as it pollutes the nice clean air of her household. And here I quote from the text, "But their sounds come inside my nice clean house, and I can't push them out. If only they didn't make such a racket, I would not mind so much. Why do they have to do it here? Why can't they go somewhere else?" It is a pity that the cries of a rape victim for help and her gagged, painful screams are only dirty, ugly sounds that were better silenced for Leela. In spite of being a woman, she is rude and insensitive, though she time and again posits herself as sensitive. She is only bothered about her children, her family, and herself. However, if this lady comes across as self-centered and indifferent, then so are the audiences in the theatre and readers of this play, as we all try to stay away such getting involved in such crimes in our daily lives. Bhaskar's friend Mohan arrives for dinner. He has come to watch the rape as if it is a cricket match, and there is an excerpt from the play. Mohan: "Oh, but I insisted." Bhaskar: "He wanted to see it." Leela: "You wanted to see it?" Mohan: "He is unrepentant, and he says, sure, why not?" Leela, who is not amused, says, "But why? Why see such awful things? Unless you missed." Mohan says, "Well, I was curious." Leela: "About such things?" Rape scenes are often included in movies and television serials as they provide voyeuristic pleasure to viewers, especially male viewers. To the male gaze, a rape scene is a spectacle, just as the way a woman's body is seen as a spectacle to be gazed at in cinema. In Laura Mulvey's Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema, Mulvey, borrowing from Freudian and Lacanian psychoanalysis, argues that pleasure is a world ordered by sexual imbalance is split between the active male and the passive female. The male gaze projects its fantasy onto the female figure, while in their exhibitionist role, women are both displayed and, as it were, coded to connote to be looked at-ness. In Resistance Through Theatrical Communication, Two Women's Texts and a Critique of Violence, Sanchayita Paul Chakraborty writes, and here I quote, "The play focuses on the response of the male gaze to the spectacle of the gang rape in the space of urbanity. The male gaze here does not only participate in the voyeuristic enjoyment of the event of rape, but it also indulges in the brutal objectification of the female body, as well as a process of justification which remains the central tenet of the drama. In structure and thematic exploration, the text is unfolding the contrapuntal formation of this male gaze that functions on multi-layered structural shelter. What is ironic in the play that one of the major male protagonists, Mohan, only comes to look at the gang rape of the woman is quite evident. What changes his role from an eyewitness to a scopophilic gazer is his constant formation of various explanations to evade the active involvement. Leela does not want to address the issue herself. She wants police to come and clear off the crime as it is a case of law and order. All conversations revolve around the incident as Bhaskar, Leela and Mohan analyze the nature of sounds emitted by the victims, whether they are cries of pain or sexual pleasure. The so-called decent middle-class family of Leela and Bhaskar are also aiding and abetting the crime, as every night they keep their lights switched off obediently, following the silent orders of the assailants, fearing that if they do not obey the same, their window panes will also be smashed, just like that of one of their neighbors who had dared to interfere by keeping the light on. Instead of taking immediate action, they cite excuses to delay action, including the possibility of it being a religious ceremony or exorcism. The reason that India, being secular, gives its citizens the freedom to practice any religion, however crude it might be. Thus, the discourse of the nation is also invoked to cover up the incident of rape and thereby deny it. It is further significant and unnerving that it is Leela, a middle-class educated wife, who spreads the dinner and transforms the discussion into dinner table gossip. The inmates of the apartment comfortably relish their dinner in candlelight while a woman is sobbing, screaming and shrieking in need of help. Leela's friend Nana joins them in the final act. She too is shocked by the crime and wants to call the police. But Bhaskar and Mohan try to convince her that it is not a case of rape but exorcism. They reason that, like gang rape, exorcism too may be violent. Thus, the respectable citizens of the nation watch the crime and try to tease out possible causes behind it, while the woman bleeds from repeated blows on her bruised body. Refusing to believe in their reasoning, Naina bursts out in anger. And here I quote, "Three men holding one woman with her legs pulled apart, while the fourth thrusts his organ into her. What would you call that? A poetry reading?" And states the obvious fact. Most forms of rape, especially gang rape, are accompanied by extreme physical violence. Left with no choice, Bhaskar and Mohan agree that it is a case of rape. Defending their inaction, they come up with another brilliant excuse. The woman who is being raped may be a whore. Being a whore, she does not have any sexual bodily rights and therefore cannot lose what she initially does not possess. And here is an excerpt from the play. Naina: "Rape is when a woman is forced to have sex." Mohan: "And what is a whore?" Naina: "A whore?" Bhaskar: "A whore is a woman whose livelihood is sex." Leela: "A whore is a woman without shame." Naina: "But does that mean only decent women can be raped?" Mohan: "Of course." Bhaskar: "After all, what does a whore have to lose?" Naina: "Why, I mean..." Mohan: "Come on. A whore is not decent, so a whore cannot be raped." Similar reasons were put forward by the Kauravas to justify the disrobing of Draupadi in the Mahabharata, as she was married to 5 Pandava brothers. Our epics are still our contemporary, as patriarchal mindset and chauvinist logic have still not become outdated, though we claim ourselves to be global, advanced citizens of postmodern world. It also pinpoints the terrible living conditions of whores who are often subjected to violence and rapes but have no legal rights to register their complaints. Treated as subhuman, human rights are not applicable to these subalterns of the society who sell their body for their living. To Bhaskar and Mohan, a whore is not a woman but a separate category. Another excerpt from the play. Naina: "By losing their vulnerability to rape, whores lose their right to be women? Is that what you mean?" Mohan replies, "Right. After all, finally the difference between men and women is that women are vulnerable to rape." Bhaskar: "And men are not?" Amidst volley of arguments and counter-arguments, Naina's husband enters the scene and suggests the need for speedy action. He wants to kill the assailants, as by daring to commit the act in their locality, they have challenged their manliness. Once their manliness has been questioned, Bhaskar and Mohan also join the mission to counter-attack the assailants and prove their manliness. The nature of arguments shifts to methods of killing the assailants, and they come up with multiple options ranging from electrocution to acid and petrol attack. They also plan to take pictures of the crime and sell it to the media as, and here I quote, "authentic pictures of a gang rape in action." Being rare are sure to get media coverage. In this delay and dilly-dallying of action, the crime ends and the perpetrators of the crime leave the site along with the victim, leaving behind silence and volley of unanswered questions thrown at the audience in the theatre hall, as their middle-class morality and its serious gaps have been revealed in the play. The play ends with one of T.S. Eliot's quotations from The Hollow Man, which says, and here I quote, "Not with a bang but with a whimper." As counteraction against the rapists are postponed and permanently deferred using facade of logic and arguments, the play ends in abrupt silence. This silence is of inaction and shame. The audiences leave the theatre hall silently identifying themselves with the characters presented on stage. Gender violence is becoming rampant in India because of this attitude of non-involvement. It is a pity that we have forgotten the golden words of wisdom and values taught to us as children. Those who commit crime and those who allow crime to be committed are equally at fault. Manjula Padmanabham silences the voice of the rape victim. We hear her cries and groans for help, but there is no information cited in the play regarding her identity, status, appearance, and attire. We do not know whether she knew her assailants, whether the same woman was tortured every night, or the rapists picked up different women and tortured them for sexual pleasure. In absence of such concrete information regarding the background of the victim, it becomes easy for the characters on stage to cite counter reasons to defer action. One of the key reasons put forward by the men in the play is that she may be a whore, but branding her as a whore, Bhaskar and Mohan justify their inaction. The play ends with the brief message that it is based on a real-life incident. This play was first performed in 1986 by Soul Theatre Company at Prithvi Theatre, Bombay. The play is still very significant even after 30 years from its first performance. The play may be re-read in the light of the brutal incident of gang rape of Jyoti Singh, a medical student who was raped and brutally tortured by her rapists on the night of 16 December 2012 for daring to stay outdoors at night with a male friend. The rapists tortured her with an iron rod and ripped out her intestines. It was as if they wanted to teach her a lesson for daring to transgress laws of patriarchal society by staying outdoors at night with a male friend. The Delhi rape case got a lot of media attention and nationwide protest of people followed the incident. Media hailed her as Nirbhaya, that is, fearless woman, as she struggled in her deathbed, but still wanted to get justice. However, the incident also brought forward the reluctance of eyewitnesses to get involved in the matter. The incident inspired Udwin Leslie to make a documentary based on the incident titled India's Daughter. Unfortunately, the documentary was not telecasted in India. However, in this age of digitization, it is impossible to prevent spread of information. The documentary is still available online and can be Google searched. The shocking documentary reveals the mindset of the rapists and their defense lawyer who think that Jyoti deserved the punishment she received as she dared to stay outdoors at night with a man who was not her relative. The incident of gang rape that took place in Delhi in 2012 and several other instances of rape in recent times, such as the Park Street rape case, have revealed the vulnerability of women to violence, inability of the state to ensure protection to women, and apathy of people to get involved in rape cases. Thus, Manjula Padmanabham's play Lights Out is significant. She uses the powerful medium of theatre to focus on the serious issue of gender violence. Thank you.